Hello, hello. Everyone can hear me? I had to reboot the computer, and whenever I do so, for some reason my mic goes on mute. And I thought about it today, which is very uncommon of me to think about something, to remember something. So Jennifer was here. Not sure if she's still here. I did a little membership giveaway. Matt Rogers, Tina Harper, Wild Edibles, I am Betty J. Gathers, and Karen Godiosi won the first 5. Wildlife, what life? Thank you so much for being here. Hello, hello. And I did a second giveaway, and I have Louis. It's the Marshmallow Man. Dan at Gear Gridden 19. Eldan, How to Garden, and Jessica's Dumpster Girls. How many channels? This is the one that was just under my name, Remy Arsenault, and I decided I was gonna try something different. I wanted to do something like Hickory Croft Farm did. Have like one channel for specific themes. Let me just put the volume down here. And yeah, I don't have time for that. I'm just going to keep everything on the one channel so everyone can hear me. That's awesome. So I had a week off. It was supposed to be raining pretty much all week, and we barely had any rain at all. I think we've had a little bit of rain last night, and I was playing softball, so I didn't really mind. It was just fun that it was actually refreshing a little bit. It's been like, when I say warm, I mean like over 30 Celsius. Feels like 33, 34. Very humid. To the point where I go outside, I dig in one T-post, and then I'm like tired, sweating. I have to come back inside, put cold water in the back of my head, just lay low for a few minutes, in front of the AC, and I end up watching one episode of a TV show, and then I start over. I go back outside. Last Saturday, we were doing the meat chickens. I did 25 chickens. Well, 25 of my chickens and 31 of my friend's chicken. We started around 9:45, and by 1:30, I was home. Something went into my eye. I hate that. 1:30, I was home. It took my girlfriend and I until about 5:30 p.m., maybe like 4 hours to cut them into pieces. Man, I hate having something caught in my eye, especially when I don't even know what it is. And welcome back, Jennifer. I'm keeping an eye on my messenger and on my phone. One of my colleagues sent me a message of 2 different mushrooms asking me if those mushrooms were good or not because her daughter was sitting in the grass eating them, which is very, very dangerous. If you know about mushrooms, mushrooms or anything else, if you don't know what it is, you don't eat it. Her daughter's about 3 years old, 4 years old, maybe, if that. The pictures I had, I couldn't see underneath the mushrooms, but I sent the message to Jessica, the one teaching me about wild foraging. She's part of what did she call it? let me see, just the name of what she called it. Poison team. So basically, if you go to emergency in New Brunswick, she will be part of the team that will discuss uh, what needs to be done regarding the mushroom you just had. Either it's something that you need to get removed. You drink the black thing. I think it's charcoal, where you have to um, the mushrooms, or maybe you need a surgery. Maybe you need to be hydrated. Maybe you need to take some specific medication. I don't know exactly how that works, but I'm guessing if you eat something poisonous, you need to get it out of your system. She doesn't think that it was a poisonous mushroom or a toxic mushroom. From what she tells me, it's just something that it's not good in terms of taste. But my colleague isn't there to answer my questions now. She sent me that message, and now I'm not freaking out, but I'm a little bit stressed. Um, she might be gone to the hospital. I don't know. I tried calling her. I left her a message on her phone, on her voicemail. Things like that. It's never fun. Um, so yeah, to go back on my chickens, the 25 chickens, they were all over 5 pounds. Well, between 5 and 5 1/4. Um, and I have 22 left. I had 50 total. I butchered 25, and I lost three. Three of them died. Um, and there's always a few ones that will die on you. I was lucky that only three of them died. Um, 22 left, and since they're able to eat basically nonstop without having the other ones taking their spot or eating first, I think they're already bigger than the first batch I did. It's gonna be another 2 weeks before I can butcher them. We had some yesterday. Yesterday was my girlfriend's birthday. We had some for supper, boneless breast. Man, that chicken was tender. It was so good. My girlfriend, I mean, she cooked them three different ways. Uh, some was some sort of shake and bake. One was with some sort of spice on it. The other one was with some, I don't know, some sort of little sauce gravy, I guess. But it was really, really good. And it's always fun to have a meal where basically, um, I'm going to say 90%. 90% of what we had for supper yesterday was from the land, from the homestead. We had fiddleheads. It's not necessarily from the homestead, but it's something that was able to forage. So it doesn't come from the grocery store. We had the chicken that I grew myself. Um, I raised them since they were little chicks. Um, I also harvested some radishes. So all of that is from my garden. Um, okay, just give me a quick second. I have a message from Jessica. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to listen and I didn't want to put anything live without her permission. But basically, she's saying that according to her, it's fine. Um, yeah, and then we had a salad with lettuce, lamb quarter, spinach, Swiss chard, um, more radishes cut into pieces in there, um, and chives. So it was a salad with a bunch of ingredients from here. The only thing that was not from the homestead, other than what we were drinking, was the potatoes. And I'm working on something for next year. Behind my parents' house, there's like a piece of land there that doesn't belong to them. I wanted to talk to the owner before I did anything with that. They're okay with me doing a garden there. They're not really using anything, and she's like, I'm not gonna go there behind the house, even if it's my land, as long as you don't like. She doesn't want to sell because it wouldn't make sense for her, and she doesn't want me growing stuff that I shouldn't be growing. But she didn't really mind um, that I was growing a garden there, and she was actually kind of happy about that. So in the fall, I have to go till the garden, or either that or just put a tarp on it. But if you put a tarp, you need to have some weight on it, and it takes a while. So I'm going to have someone to go till the land and go back in the spring and till again. It might cost me about $100 in the fall and another $100 in the spring, but I'll be able to grow potatoes for the whole family. When I say the family, not just me, but my parents and my brother as well. Um, probably for a year at a time. Um, it's roughly about 200 feet by 60, 70 feet. So there's a lot of space to grow. And welcome back. And good evening, Karen. Yeah, 90% is great. You always aim for 100%, but I mean, there's only so much you can do, right? At this time of year, you can't really grow potatoes. And the sauce, the Caesar dressing, the dressing I had in my salad, it's not something. Well, I could have done it, but it's not something that was from the homestead. New potato family in New Brunswick, the Hearst knows. Yeah, it's not anything we want to sell, but we want to be able to can a few and maybe even like make French fries with them. I just need to know exactly what they do. Do they blanch the fries, the French fries? Because you buy them, they're already like kind of crispy, and I want to have something like that where my kids can just go and put some French fries in the oven or in the air fryer and cook something for themselves. Um, but yeah, I'm just hoping that the rest of the family want to get in on it. I'm gonna have to talk with them. They're already cooked. Yeah, they're already cooked, I think. Yeah, I knew they were either blanched or cooked. I can them as French fries. Store bought is coated in oil. If you were to put like organic olive oil or something like that, like I have some pork lard here. I could always just fry them in the lard. It might not be the best for the heart, but it would be somewhat organic at least. Hello, Dave. Had a new potato. Oh, just a second. I have pictures from under the mushroom. I just have to send that to Jessica. Yeah, she called the hospital. She's at the hospital. She called the anti-poison center and they told her to go to the hospital. Well, it's probably very stressing for her. Okay, so she's at the hospital. The other one is saying that it's not toxic or dangerous, but better be safe than sorry. But worst comes to worst, I'll let her know that. Tell her it's that specific mushroom. Okay, just give me a second. I just want to send her a quick message. Alrighty, I'm back. Okay, just better be safe than sorry when it comes to that kind of thing. Our little gingerbread house, thank you so much for stopping by. Good Friday evening. Yeah, happy Friday. It's the weekend. For me, it's basically officially the end of my vacation. Well, I mean, I'm not working tomorrow and Sunday, but today was the last day I was getting paid to stay home. I cut potatoes in strips and can them in strips raw. And when I open the jar, rinse and dry them, then fry. Okay. You probably don't need to dry them too much if you put them in the air fryer. Yeah, McCain's and Cavendish. All right. So she's happy that the mushrooms were not toxic. Yeah, well, rather be safe than sorry. I wanted to explain to her where I got the information from, just so that she doesn't need to spend like 20 hours at the hospital in the ER, being afraid of what could happen. I still send the pictures of the underneath of the mushroom to the team, but I want her to know that the person that told me the information was a trustworthy source. You know what you need to do, Remy, for your last day off? Get up and do the Roomba. Why not the little dance and wiggle? We'll make you laugh. Yeah, but my vacation is over. I don't want to dance. I want to cry because my vacation is over. But it was really warm. I couldn't really enjoy the time to be in the garden and do everything I wanted to do because, like I said earlier, you go outside, you work for about 15, 20 minutes, and then you're sweating with a headache, and you need to go back in the cool weather and cool temperatures. with cold water, and well, you have to drink a lot of water. So I often go out, in, out, in. I was still able to do a few trellises. I think I showed a picture not too long ago, or maybe a video, with the trellis I made for my grapes. I did a second one for a few more grapevines I had here growing here and there. Uh, I had some planted pretty much all over the place, and some of them survived. But the problem is, I had them planted in like random places, thinking that worst comes to worst, I can just put like plastic tote and have them growing on top, you know. Um, but I wanted to have them in a way that I can just go under and harvest the grapes, and also control the way I want the vines to grow. So by doing an arch trellis with the hog panels I had, so they're like a rainbow, you know, they're in a half circle. They'll be growing up. I put like one plant in front of each other. I'll grow one on that side and one on this side, so they'll be growing like this. And I can just go underneath, harvest all the grapes, and if there's one growing, like the one that's here, if it's growing that way, I can either cut it or put another trellis in the future. But then I realized that I had some more grapes growing at a few more different places that I didn't even know I had. I thought they had died. Couple months ago, I was talking about all the fruit trees I had, and I was talking about how I had about 25 grapevines total planted, and I counted, and I have 15 that survived. And if they survived so far, I mean, they're good. They're strong enough. They'll make it. The ones that didn't make it are the ones that didn't have roots. Just the cuttings that I was planting here and there. I have a few ones that survived, obviously, from those cuttings, because I had about 15 cuttings, and 10 of them that were purchased. So having 15, it means that some of those cuttings survived. I ended up making a third trellis in an arch. I have those three trellises. One that was next to the clothesline, just a post that's there. I was thinking about putting a panel there, but I have those smaller panels that Salge has on his property that I was able to put there. Like, I just put one. It's not big enough. It might be like a maybe 4 or 5 feet wide. It's the right height. But what I did, I added T-post on the two sides of the post, the wood post, and where the trellis was, and I put a bunch of wires. So I was able to take those tomato clips and clip the branches the way I wanted them to grow. Hey, Daisy. Let me show you my dog. You're black. They don't see you. Come closer. Look, you see the eyes? Hello, Daisy. Maybe they'll see. There you go. What's up? Daisy's paws. Huh? Right. I don't usually cuddle the dog too much. So if she's here, it means that my daughter's in the shower, because she wouldn't be here. Let me put the camera back, and as soon as I let her go, she'll go. All right. Did you want a baby? Did you go see the babies? Did you go see the babies? Did you want a baby? Are you the baby? Are you the baby? Are you the baby? Yeah, we have some little babies, some little chicks. she likes to come in here because it's like a little house for her, little shelter, you know. Yeah, and to finish my story, I have another trellis that I built like 4 or 5 years ago, where I just took like 2 cedar posts. I didn't even tie them up anywhere. I just put them sideways, like this, on the house. 2 of them, and I put the piece of strapping between them, so they're hanging like this, sideways, with a strapping here, holding them together. So basically, it's like something like this on the wall, and I put some chicken wires, and I have one grapevine growing that on that side of the house. So I should get a lot of grapes in the future. But what I did that I enjoyed the most during my vacation regarding the garden was every morning after I was done with my coffee, I'd go out for a walk and basically get my breakfast outside. I would take a leaf of lettuce, a few lamb quarters, a few strawberries, a few red currants, a few honey berries, a few uh, pieces of chives, and I would just chew on everything, eat everything. A few radishes. You know, I had the hose. I would just clean the radishes, and yeah, that was fun. I also did some cleanup, weeding, um, where I had my beets. Unfortunately, I realized that the beets don't do too well when you have a lot of weeds. So when I started removing the weeds, I realized that most of my beets didn't even make it. And about 3 feet wide, about 5 to 6 feet long, it was full of weeds, and I checked everything I removed from the ground to make sure I didn't remove any beets. Like, it was one plant at a time. It took me like 4 hours to weed it out. And I ended up with maybe 5 beets. So either my seeds were not good or the weeds just killed them. But I also went in the greenhouse. My greenhouse, I filmed everything regarding the garden tour I wanted to do. So you'll be able to see the mess I had in my greenhouse. But there's a little change in there in terms of I was able to clean all the weeds. My cucumbers have a trellis now. For the first time ever, I added a trellis to my cucumbers. I put a few strings on my tomatoes, tomato plants. I still have to do something about my tomatoes. Might have time to do something tomorrow. All I really need to do is put 2 little pieces of boards standing up on each side, screw them there. Not only will that make the greenhouse stronger, but it will create some sort of a little, um, 2 little posts that I can just put a wire on top and trellis all my tomato plants, because they're huge and they're just word game here, but they're just hanging by a thread. When I started removing all the weeds, a lot of those weeds had a lot of soil and dirt around the roots, so a lot of soil came out with them. So I had to add more soil and more compost around my tomato plants, and I'm still going to have to add some more. but they're like kind of weak now because of that. I need to give him a lot of water, but not too much. But I will need to put some more compost, and I will need to trellis them so that they stay standing up. But I didn't have time to go for a drive at all. Like, I wanted to go in the woods for a small drive to go look for mushrooms. That didn't happen. Let me catch up on chat. I'm about 10 minutes behind. Yeah, the heat has been crazy. It's been like walking into a sauna, right? You guys had the same heat down there. I had to keep shoveling a bit of manure in buckets and then come in and cool. Yeah, so you did the same thing I did. To keep sending messages before I'm done. My boy garden is loving the heat and rain is exploding. I must have over 1,000 grapes, tons of kiwis, doing great. Nice. I have a few clusters of grapes, but I mean, there won't be that big. Like, they're probably the size of blueberries. I also got a few Rhode Island Reds. Rhode Island Reds, little chicks, because Rhode Island Reds are the type of chickens that my daughter Miley enjoys. If you've been here for a little while, you know about her famous chicken ketchup. I have a few videos about her. She was literally able to teach the chickens to do tricks. I have them as chicks. They're in the bedroom just back there. As soon as they're old enough, I might have to bring them in St. Maur just for a little while until they get bigger before I can introduce them with the ones I have here. I have up garden tours, or I gave up garden tours. I keep updating because it's crazy, beautiful abundance. Always been my dream. Yeah, you keep sending pictures. You could just put pictures on your YouTube to keep your followers posted. But you're right. It seems that every time I look outside, there's like something big growing. My rhubarb was awesome. I'm about to be able to harvest some seeds from my rhubarb plant. I'm not going to have a lot of apples this year. I'm just hoping that the wild ones are abundant. I have some strawberries. I've been eating strawberries every morning. Some white currants, red currants. I'm probably not going to have any pears or plums, but I do have some cherries. I will also have a lot of gooseberries. Those are like, I have that one bush that's simply like full, crazy full. Yeah, not a dog person. If it was my cat, it'd still be on me. Little Charlie, he's been hunting mice for a little while now, and is doing a good job at it. It keeps scaring me though. He goes behind like in the back of the property, and I'll be like either harvesting something in the garden, or just transplanting something, and suddenly he just comes out of nowhere, bouncing in the grass. Like, I'll hear little amulet he has, little pendant, cling cling cling, and I'm like, oh, like, what's going on? Until I realize that it's just a cat, but he keeps coming out of nowhere. Looks like a great breakfast. Yeah, and that's the main reason I didn't do Shed Wars this year, because I wanted to be out, be able to eat the stuff fresh. I look in my garden, I'm going to have so much peas, so much beans. I'm going to have a lot of zucchinis and squash. I've been harvesting radishes for a while now. Only problem is, I have a few radishes that were like huge, but they don't take too long before they get like hard and stringy. You take a bite on them and they're hard to eat. So when they're at that point, I just let them go and let them go to seeds. If you can find buckets, so much easier. No weeding. I put rocks on top of the soil and save tons of work. And that's about the potatoes, right? You're talking about potatoes. How to garden. Thank you so much for being here. Always need more compost. Yeah. Well, I have some rabbit manure, which is not that bad. Problem is with my compost pile right now, the weeds is growing, and it's a lot higher than me when you consider the pile and the size of the weeds. I need to put one of those black tarps on top of it just to keep the weeds from growing, and also to keep the all the fungi and worms and all that stuff, so that they can go in there and work. Put a little bit of water every now and then. Put the tarp on. Um, but I also need to clean my chicken coop, and it was just too warm. Like, I mean, I don't want to do that when it's in the plus 30s Celsius. When you just open the door and you're already like soaked and wet from the sweat because it's too warm and humid outside, I don't want to do some heavy work by cleaning up a chicken coop, especially thinking that the smell is going to be even worse. My first pick of paste tomatoes tomorrow. Awesome. I didn't see your last videos, Dave. I'm so behind. Like, I didn't want to stay inside, and it's hard for me to watch videos in the summer, but usually in the winter I try to catch up. I've been posting like crazy. It's good to look back on. Yeah, I have some videos filmed. I just don't have time to do the editing. Plus, I have a few ones to make, and I started doing a few ones that just didn't work. So I had to, there was nothing to show. So it's not like I could really keep the videos going. If I have nothing to show for, it's pointless. Like, I mean, I don't mind, and I enjoy. I enjoy showing. Well, I enjoy. I don't mind showing the mistakes I make, or if I make errors. It's all a learning process, and I'm here to teach you guys how not to make the same mistakes I make. But if I make a mistake and nothing works, then I'm not going to make a video just showing that, hey, I tried this and I failed. The end. I have a video coming up. Well, the last one I did about plantain, I failed the first time, but I explained a mistake I did. And I did it again, second time in a different way. Just give me a second. I have to take a break. Sorry, I had to go for a few seconds. So things seems to be all right with that little kid that ate the mushrooms. Kind of forgot what I was talking about, but anyway, having a great mango year. Nice. I wish I could grow some of those things around here, but then again, it means the weather would be warmer and you have a lot more bugs and dangerous critters, which I don't really like. Everything, I plant everything in buckets, then rocks on top. No weeding or maintenance. It works. And I mean, to each their own, like that's what you enjoy. Um, I mean, I'm not here to tell you what to do or not to do. Uh, it's just not for me. I have a few things in containers, and for me, it doesn't grow as well. The worms are not getting in. There's not like the same amount of compost. You need to amend the containers every once in a while. The buckets, I don't know. Just for me, anyway, it's not working. But I mean, I could show you 10 different channels with a bunch of people growing over 2,000 pounds of vegetables, and none of them is doing the same thing. So every single way of doing things is good. Just do whatever's best for you. I have huge plantain growing here all over the gravel and all kind of other stuff. That's great. Plantain has a lot of beneficial properties, medicinal properties as well. Like if you get a mosquito bite, you just take a plantain leaf, chew it, and just put it on the bite, and it will ease the itchiness very fast. Grand Falls. And it's just one drop, if I remember well. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Grand Falls. Not sure why you were talking about Grand Falls, but anyway, I use manure freshly delivered. It depends how they grow stuff and what they use. Yeah, I mean, I always put some rabbit manure around my garden, but even if it's safe, I tend not to put it, around my roots vegetables. I'll put some compost that's been. Oh, okay. I tend to wait a few years before I put the compost where I put my roots vegetables. Yeah. This year, those falls are not from around here. They're just videos that I took from Canva. No worries. We don't have those kind of things around here. It is. We have some pretty spots, so I can't say that it's all negative, but we don't have like a beautiful fall like this. Everything on Sarah's property is growing well. We'll have a lot of peas, like I said earlier, beans, onions. The green part of the onion is growing well, but the bulb isn't so much. But like Sal said, at the same time, they were very small when I planted them. I kept the smallest ones for there. I have some growing at the community garden. My cucumbers, I have them trellised, and they're doing great. I just hope they keep going this way. The plants seem to want to grow in the other direction, and I don't want to twist them too much and take a chance of breaking them. But we'll see. Even in the greenhouse, I had like 4 plants. One of them didn't make it right from the start, but the 3 other plants are doing great. I have some peppers, celery. The celery is already the stems They are the size of my little finger, which is already bigger than what we had last year. Last year, the biggest ones were about the size of a pen. I mean, they're already double that size. So from now on, they will always be grown in my greenhouse, even if I only have to plant that. I have a second greenhouse where I had some other things growing in there, and I realized that it's not what I thought it was at all. So I still have to go in there. I'm going to need some gloves, remove everything from there, amend the soil because it's probably not very good. I'm probably going to have to put a tarp in there for a little while. My raspberries are starting to take over that part of the property. But if I amend the soil properly, I can probably put all my celeries in there next year. Just need to make sure I remove all the weeds and all the, well, yeah. Because there's a lot of different kind of plants growing in there. I have some asparagus that's doing pretty good. The fact that it's growing, seems like every time I go take a look, it's growing. That's enjoyable. In the back where I had a few garden beds, I was able to take the weed eater and just cut the grass a little bit around. I think I told you already last weekend, but I ended up with a bunch of blackberries, and the blackberries seem to be dying. But my girlfriend's cousin told me that I should just bury them, like the whole plant. He says that if you take the whole plant and you plant it about 3 to 5 inches deep, they will make roots faster, and they will eventually make a lot of stronger, canes for next year. On this live. It's okay, Marilyn. I can keep an eye if you're tired. But I want to go and get some more. I went and checked one of my root ball that I had. One of the first ones I used. So there's one good thing and one bad thing about that root ball, and I didn't show it on the video because everything happened so fast. When I removed the tie wraps and I opened it, all the soil fell on the ground. You're supposed to keep the soil there with the roots, but there was not enough roots to hold the sand or the soil together. So it didn't work the way I was hoping it would, but you could see that there were still some roots starting on it. And I cut it, and I went as fast as I could, got in the vehicle, came back home. I mean, it was only like 3 minutes away. It's between here and Sarah's property. So it was less than 4 minutes by the time I cut it and brought it home. I soaked it in water for about 5 to 10 minutes, gave it some rooting hormones, and planted it with a bunch of rabbit manure. I planted one of those rebar posts, put one of those tomato clips around the tree just to hold it straight up. And that was sometime last weekend. So it's been at least 5 days. Like, I'm not saying this tree is doing great, but in my opinion, it's still alive because it's still standing up. The leaves are still on the tree. And compared to what I've seen before, I mean, you cut a branch of an apple tree within 2-3 days, you can see that the branches is dead. The leaves are dying. So there's still some life in that branch. Hopefully it survives and becomes a tree. I give it a lot of water. I give it like good 3-4 liters of water every day, just until hopefully the roots can take off on their own, and especially since it's really warm. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I will keep you posted for sure about that apple tree. Well, we'll see how it goes. I just ate my first serving of green beans. At least 5 baby squash from Hickory Croft seeds growing. Awesome, Jane. And thank you for stopping by. That's great. My beans, the plants I have home for the first time in a long time, are doing great. I mean, I don't have 40 plants there. That's not what I'm saying. I have about a dozen, maybe. But I probably have about 50 peas plants. But the dozen bean plants I have are doing great. Also, where I had the little garden, where the barn was a few years back, where I ended up planting my onions last year. Dog's going crazy. It's all overgrown. I was able to go there and cut the lawn a little bit. I just need to go there and make everything level so I can cut the grass. But I have a few rhubarb plants and a few raspberry plants back there that I don't want to cut. So I have to be very careful about using the lawnmower and driving there. I don't want to cut anything I'm not supposed to. So I'm taking the weed eater, going slowly, a little bit at a time. But my weed eater, the battery lasts about 20 minutes. I have 2 batteries, but, gives me a reason to come back inside and drink a glass of water and then go back out. I change the battery. But every hour I have to wait like 2 hours for the 2 batteries, or at least one of the batteries, to be charged. So I kind of lose time there. So that's why I try to do it in the morning. It's not as warm. The batteries are fully charged. I'll do one in the morning and then, change a battery. I will charge a battery in the morning, like the first one I use, and then around supper time I'll change a battery and they'll be fully charged by the next morning. I also use the lawnmower a little bit, but I'm out of gas, and gas is expensive, so I have to wait until my next paycheck. Maybe Monday. Hopefully Monday I can go and fill out the canister, and I also need to fill out my propane tank because I want to use the barbecue a little bit more. I ran out and didn't have money to go and fill it up. I always use rooting powder, but when I don't, I never had any success. I did use the rooting powder, but it's hard to keep the powder on the branches. I just picked some radishes and some bunching onions. My cucumbers are going crazy. So many cucumbers coming. I just started to see some flowers in the last couple of days. And unfortunately, I don't see a lot of bees. I'm not saying they're not there. Like, I see a few bumblebees. I've seen a few wasps here and there. I didn't see that many honeybees. They could still be there. I mean, I just don't walk in the tall grass. So maybe they're still around. But usually I have a lot of honeybees around, and I didn't see as much this year. If the leaves are still nice, it survived. Good job. Really? That fast? Well, you're probably already gone, but I will send you a message in the morning tomorrow. I know you're up early, so if you're already gone, I want to have confirmation. I'll send you a picture of the leaves. I mean, the leaves are not, like I said, they're not like bright green like it was a brand new tree, in the spring. But they don't seem to be like just falling off or brown, black. So hopefully, and there wasn't that much of a root on it. Like there was just like the tiny little chunk of white, but maybe that was enough. Maybe with manure and oh, okay, that's fine, Magdalene. I'll send you the picture and you can just reply to me whenever. Have a great weekend and take care. And whatever you're doing, stay safe. And I'm not leaving just yet. Just saying goodbye to Magdalene. My green beans are a bust this year. I think too much spring rain. I will try a second crop. Yeah, I don't think it's too late. Last year, I ended up planting some early July. And by the end of August, which is about 2 months later, I had so much beans, I didn't even know what to do with them. I couldn't even keep up. Harvesting, blanching, freezing, or just harvesting, putting it in the fridge, and canning whenever I had time. It was just too much. Do you have sunchokes or Jerusalem artichokes? I have some, but I can't tell you what kind it is. And it's the first time I ever grow that. I can see the bunch of plants growing, and I know they're plants that I've never seen before, and they're growing like in perfect design or perfect squares, perfect lines. So I know that's what it is, but I can't even tell. Like I've never heated them. I've never grown them. I have no idea what they are. All I know is they're a root vegetable. It's going to be a new experiment for me. I will be able to experience that for the first time. I'm not gone, but on the road early. Will be more on late morning. That's okay. What else? My potatoes are doing great. Well, I didn't plant a lot. Like I don't feel like I have enough space to grow potatoes to even make it worth it. I usually try to keep the space for something else. But I had some free potatoes and I figured I was going to put them in the ground. I have some purple potatoes that Angie and me and New Acres gave me, and those seem to be doing great. Little flowers on top are kind of cool. What else do I have? My chives is doing great. Chamomile is doing okay. I have some echinacea growing as well. Some strawberries. I've been eating strawberries pretty much every morning. My cherries are doing great. I was even able to taste. They were sold to me saying that they were blue strawberries. I can promise you they're not blue, but the size is somewhere between the wild strawberries and strawberries you would get at the store. So they're kind of medium, and it tastes just like grapes. There's like distinct grape, purple grape taste, and they're delicious. Oh my god, I love them. I need to find what kind of strawberries it is, and I need to grow a lot of them. I want to have them all over my property. Like, honestly. So would you like some at May conference? I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes just yet, for a bunch of reasons. I don't know if I'll be able to go. It's always a last minute kind of thing for me. I still have some vacations put aside for that, but I don't know if I'll be able to go financially. It's pretty expensive. But if I go, I will let you know. I also don't know if I'm even going to like them. It's going to be a first experience for me. First time eating artichokes. I've never heard of these kind of strawberries before. Me neither. It was sold by We have the what we call the Restigouche Hospital, the mental institution, which is a provincial hospital. We call it the provincial hospital, where they have you know people that are mentally ill, and they do all kind of activities with them. And one of them is they garden. They have a group of people that wants to garden. So they buy the seeds, they buy the pot, they buy the soil, they grow everything from seeds, and then they have a little sale early spring. Well, maybe it was early June, the first weekend of June, and we're selling some of those. But as soon as I see the lady that was taking care of the sale, I'll ask her if she knows the name because I want to have some. Hopefully, they will spread, and hopefully, they'll survive, and I can have some more. And I will let you know more once I know what they are. Um, I had two strawberries, and I ate one. I gave one to my girlfriend, and she said the same thing I did. It really tastes like grapes. I have to go water my greenhouse. See you next week. Awesome. Thank you so much for stopping by, Jane. You have a great weekend. Um, yeah. From what I can see right now, it seems to be growing just a bunch of leaves together. You know how a strawberry plant usually will grow like 3 to 4 set of leaves, and then they'll throw shoots and grow a few strawberries out of that main plant. But the plant I had was just a bunch of leaves, like boom. And there were two strawberries on it already, and there's a third one growing. So I'm hoping that we get it, and I can get one of the kids, or even two kids, like if I split it in half, have them trying. What else did I? My lettuce is doing great. I mean, we've been eating lettuce like crazy. Swiss chard Marilyn gave me is also doing great. I've been harvesting spinach, lamb quarters. What else? Daylilies. I ate one, like just one petal of that flower, and honestly, it kind of tastes like lettuce, but a little sweeter, which is kind of cool. It's kind of hard to describe if you've never had that before, but really enjoyed it. What else? Well, most of my trees are still doing good, even though, like I said, my plums are not producing. My apple trees are not producing. I only lost like one pear tree and one hybrid. It's an hybrid, a few grafted branches of cherries and a few graft of pear. Nothing is growing. I don't know if it's because of my soil. I transplanted a wild apple tree a while back, and I say a while back, like maybe 7, 8 years ago. And one of them survived. Well, survived. The main tree died, but the roots stayed alive. So there's a few shoots coming out, and I mean it's about a good 1.5 feet tall. I'm gonna have to cut the little pieces on the sides and focus on that main tree. Now I don't know if I should graft on it or just let it go and have a surprise in the future. I have no idea what kind of apple it's going to be. And honestly, all different kind of apples we have growing around here, they're all amazing and they all taste delicious. So I don't really mind. Unless I got a crab apple, then I would be sad a little bit. But I can still do some jelly and juice and things like that with the crab apples. And they flower a lot in spring, and they help fertilize all other apple trees. Um, I said last week that, well, last week I wasn't supposed to have a live stream because on Fridays I play softball. Last week it was canceled. This week they couldn't make it today, so we played yesterday instead. Chances are next Friday we're gonna play and I'm not gonna be able to make it to the live stream. But in case something happens, I might try to just come, even if it's just for a few minutes, a good 15-20 minutes, just to say hi, to say what's been going on during the week. We are 3-0. We didn't lose yet. The league is not that, I don't consider myself good, and I'm doing good in the league. So the level of play is not that strong. But there's a lot of new players this year, which is kind of cool. A bunch of new players means they're just going to get better as they play. And the more they play, the better they'll get. It's going to be more fun in the future. And we are starting to, get some younger players to play on our team. My friend taking care of the team told me that in a few years from now, Anthony's probably going to play with us. By then, I might be retired. Maybe not. Maybe players like him will take over. We play. It's orthodox, which means it's not like the full softball whip. You can't go around like this to throw the ball. You can just go back as far as you can without breaking your shoulder, and you just let it go. So the ball can still come quite fast, and you don't really have control over where you hit the ball. So you just hit and you hope to make it. But it's all about the defensive game, and it's all about making contacts when you're at bat. But in 3 games, I went at bat 12 times. I already have 5 walks, 2 doubles, a few singles, and I was out 3 times. So it's not that bad. It's fun. I didn't make any mistake in the field. I actually did a few good plays, so it's kind of cool. Not to brag. Well, I'm actually bragging, but it's okay. Just bragging for fun. You guys can't see anyway, so you have no idea what I'm really doing. I just noticed something. That little bar you see here, talking about my members, do you guys see like a little strip of, like the camera under that bar? It's kind of weird. I thought it was supposed to be full down here. I don't know why. Got to go and let the dogs out in water now. Have a good night. All right, Karen. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, is that a setting somewhere? Let me see. Scroll bottom thicker. Because when I look there, I don't see anything. Like the bar is the bottom of my screen, but not on YouTube, so I have no idea. Well, we're supposed to do the chickens, the rest of the meat chickens in about 2 weeks. I want to go for a drive to try to find some of those chanterelle mushrooms. They're probably out by now. I also want to go just go for a drive to see my parents in the woods. Maybe try to go and find some of those lobster mushrooms. I can still go and look for a few puffballs and a few wild plants. Um, so that's my plan for the weekend. Hopefully, if we're getting over 35 degrees tomorrow with humidex, basically the body's temperature, probably going to go at the beach. But I didn't go clam fishing this year. There's not enough to be even worth it. Cool thing though, cool fact. After we were done with the chickens, I put a few carcasses in the freezer because I want to do some chicken broth at some point. That might be some. Well, it's too warm right now to do, so I don't mind leaving that in the freezer for later on, maybe in August or early September. It'll be cooler in the house, and I'll be able to do that. But I had a few carcasses that I was able to give away to a friend of mine that keeps asking me about carcasses, and she wants to do her own chicken broth. Just never happens because by the time she asked me last year, they were already either all frozen or all gone. But I was able to keep some for myself this year, and in exchange, she's offering me sea salt. She started a little company. I don't remember the name, but she sells sea salt. But it's kind of cool because she was telling me the southern you go in the province, the more salty the water is. And that's something I didn't know. I don't know if it's all the ocean. That could explain a lot of things. It could be because we have a lot of streams, rivers, and brooks around here, that the water is a little bit less heavy, I guess. But we'll see. I want to try that. I've seen a video. I don't remember. Is it not loving the land? A couple living in British Columbia. Loving of the land or something like that. They did their own sea salt, and it looked kind of cool. So I want to try that. I know you have to evaporate water for a very long time. Basically, you do pretty much the same process as you would do with maple syrup. You just put salty water, and you evaporate the water until you get like paste. Once you get at the paste level, you put it in the oven or in a dehydrator. If I put that in a dehydrator at that point, it would probably work, and I would have some sea salt. She told me she was going to give me tiny little vial, but I still want to try it on my own at some point. Might be something interesting to do. Well, I see that most people are gone, so instead of just talking to myself, I will let you guys go. I mean, I've been on for an hour and 15 minutes, and I wasn't even supposed to be here today, so it's all good. I don't really have much to talk about anyway, but I'll be here Sunday morning to talk about what I've done in the weekend. Take care, everyone. Thanks for being here. Don't hesitate to share the video, share my channel, give me a thumbs up. A thumbs up is always appreciated. You can leave a comment after I'm done in the comment section. It's always helping the channel. If you're watching this and you don't know how to support me, there are different ways you can support me without even having to pay a single penny. And I just mentioned most of those ways. Give me a thumbs up. Share my videos. If you're subscribed, you share my video, you give me a thumbs up, you leave comments. We can even have a conversation in a comment section. That's always good for the video. Watch my videos from start to finish. And if you don't like my videos, but you still want to support me, press play, go do something else. Come back, put the little thumbs up, leave a comment, put another video and go do something else. The best way to support the channel is by watching the video. But if you don't have time, or if you don't care and you still want to support me, there are a few ways. And you can also use my Amazon link in the description below to buy any of the stuff that I have. You can also access the membership area. I was able to give 10 of those away today, but if you're interested, it can be fun for you if you've never seen it, and it's only $2.99 a month for the higher version. I also have some information about TubeBuddy, StreamYard. I'm giving you a shout out for my members. I also need to start putting the link to the seeds I'm selling. If you go on rainbowseeds.ca and you use the promotional code REM10, you're saving 10% on the seeds you're buying, and you're also helping me, supporting me. I make a cut, and it doesn't cost you more. You're actually saving 10% on those seeds. I have a video coming up about some of those packages that they have, which is kind of cool. I think it's worth $35, where you have those vacuum sealed seeds, and you have about, well, in the video I'm showing the description, but there's like 15 different types of seeds, if not more. So it's really worth it, and it's a good way to put some seeds aside for next year. Very cheap, and easy way to preserve them as well. So rainbowseeds.ca, you use the promotional code REM10, REM10 on your way to check out, and you will save 10%, and you're helping me. Like I said, you can also buy some stuff from Amazon. You can also buy some stuff from do I have my link? I don't even have the link to my, oh yeah, my merch is there. Sorry. Yeah, my merch is there. If you want to buy t-shirt, hat, stickers with my logo on it, or if you're a squash fan, I have a few designs. I have to work on finding some new designs for the winter. Well, this winter, for my store. Hopefully some people eventually will find it and buy some stuff from me. Even there, I'm making a little cut on the stuff I sell. So what? That's weird. Anyway, enough talking. Thanks for watching. Don't hesitate to share, like the video, leave a comment, and I'll see you next time.
Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals, they take us higher. The night's young, it has just begun, as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night.